Hello all, I'm King John, you're you, and you're awesome, so you keep on doing that. I want to take a moment to talk about the end of the petrodollar and why this doesn't really change anything. Now, for a little background, for anyone who hasn't got that, the petrodollar is a term describing the use of the US dollar in Saudi Arabia, specifically for the purchase of oil. There was a long-standing agreement between the United States of America and Saudi Arabia that encompassed a lot of things. Primarily a defense agreement. America agreed to defend Saudi Arabia, and Saudi Arabia agreed to only sell oil in US dollars. So anyone who wanted to buy Saudi Arabian oil had to pay in US dollars. A little while ago, Saudi Arabia announced the end of the petrodollar. Now, there's a lot of details, I think, that have been left out, and not sure exactly where this is going to go. However, a lot of people started to declare that this was the end of the US dollar, the end of American supremacy in international economics. Now, I thought that was wrong. Or being a king, I think it is important that, as a general rule, I should hold off on commenting on things until I take some time to think about things and get as much information as I can. And I was absolutely right. That's wrong. Quite wrong. This is not the end of the US dollar's supremacy, not by a long shot. And in fact, it's probably not even the end of Saudi Arabia taking oil payments in US dollars. If you think that this is in fact the end of the US dollar as the global currency of choice, take a moment and think, what currency could replace it? The ruble? No. The ruble is still hovering on the brink of hyperinflation. The Russian economy is in complete shambles. They are desperately incapable of importing or exporting anything of great value. Not to mention completely cut off from most of the world's financial systems. The Chinese yuan? Forget it. The Chinese government right now has ballooning debt. When I say ballooning, I mean a hot air balloon, bringing them up into the atmosphere, about to pop and drop them miles down to Earth. The Communist Party right now is openly at economic war with their own citizens. On top of all of that, China cannot allow the yuan to be the global reserve currency, the global currency of choice. They can't. Firstly, because the yuan is actually pegged to the US dollar. And secondly, because they cannot let any yuan out of the country. Every single time they relax any of the monetary controls, huge amounts of money leave the country. Everyone in China who has money wants to get out of the country and wants to take their money with them. The only people who have any confidence in the Chinese economy are foreigners who don't know any better. Yes, it's still a big economy, but it's failing hard. And it simply is incapable of replacing the US economy. Some people have suggested India, saying that India has huge potential. That is true. India does have great potential. A large population that is relatively well educated, a country that still has a great deal of natural resources to make use of. But potential is not actual. They have the potential to be a great economic power, but in actuality, at this particular time, they are dealing with a great deal of problems. Poverty on a huge scale, Law and order is problematic, huge homelessness, and they also have fairly strict uh, export controls on their currency, very like China, for similar reasons. So what else is there? Some fool actually suggested South Africa, the South African rand, which is quite foolish. South Africa is even worse off than Russia at the moment. Their economy is going down the tubes even as we speak. They have almost literally zero ability to enforce to put any sort of economic pressure on the world at all. What else is there? Honestly, I think the best candidate at the moment is Germany. But they're in the euro, so I can't say the Deutschmark. But I digress. On top of all of that, even though Saudi Arabia is officially off the petrodollar, their currency, the rial, I think it's called, it's pegged to the U.S. dollar. So even though they don't have an international agreement, they will only take payments in U.S. dollars. They'll still want to, and it's not just Saudi Arabia. Also, Qatar, United Arab Emirates, Kuwait, Bahrain, Oman, all these oil exporting countries, they have their currencies pegged to the U.S. dollar. As well as a lot of other countries that don't export oil. So, yeah, the U.S. dollar is still very secure. Anyway, thank you for tuning in. I just thought it would be useful to put this information out there for anyone who hadn't heard it yet. Instead, heard a lot of the crowing and screaming from alarmists about the downfall of the U.S. dollar. But what do you think? I'm only a king. I could be wrong. If you know better, then please let me know. Comment below, make your own video in response. And I hope to hear from you. Have a nice day.